Disclaimer. The video serves informational and entertainment purpose only. The content is considered speculative and should not be treated as confirmed fact. We encourage you to conduct your research and form your conclusion.
This guy's an absolute smoke show, so
exactly.
There's a lot of smoke wafting around.
Cheers to that, babe.
Cheers to that, darling.
What's a sexy accent to you?
Italian.
Italian?
Like Spanish.
Spanish. Arbitrary Latino?
Yes. That's included in.
My forte.
Pedro. Yeah.
From Game of Thrones, maybe.
That. And like someone that can talk to you in that language.
It's kind of like, what would be the literal translation? Yummy old man?
Oh, it's my yummy old man.
Yes. Back on track, babe.
Back on track, baby.
Cool. Thinking you're verraco means you think you're hot shit. Let me demonstrate.
Pedro Pascal used to be Hollywood's golden boy, the charming, cool daddy of the internet, the vulnerable heartthrob, the man who could do no wrong. But lately, something feels off. Clips of him on the Fantastic Four press tour are going viral for all the wrong reasons. He's been caught whispering in co-stars' ears, stroking pregnant women's faces, and complimenting random strangers' nails with a tone that feels less sweet and more scripted, unsettling. People aren't laughing anymore. Comments are turning cold. Fans are calling him creepy. And a phrase keeps popping up across Reddit and TikTok. There's something off about Pedro Pascal, but you just can't prove it. But maybe now you can. Because behind Pedro's quirky charm and emotional openness is a carefully crafted image, one that Hollywood has protected at all costs. Until now.
Vanessa is my guide. She's my inspiration. I don't think I'll ever work the same again, even whether it's with or without Vanessa, because of like how dedicated and how her dedication inspired me to work harder than I've ever worked. She's hilarious. And you know that if somebody can make you laugh, you're in love forever.
I just knew he would be an incredible partner, and I knew that he would play a man, as he always does with all his characters, who's just not what you expect. And I think it needed it. Mr. Fantastic is the leader.
Pedro Pascal has always been branded as the sensitive star, anxious but lovable, touchy-feely but in a charming way, the guy who drinks iced coffee with shaky hands and hugs his co-stars too tight. For years, fans ate it up, but lately, something about it feels off. The Fantastic Four press tour should have been his crowning moment, playing Mr. Fantastic in Marvel's biggest reset. But instead of glowing headlines, the internet is flooded with clips that feel more awkward than endearing. It started with seemingly harmless moments. Pedro stroking Vanessa Kirby's cheek while she's visibly pregnant with her fiancé's child, whispering in her ear in front of flashing cameras. Public affection that doesn't feel playful. It feels personal. And then came the nails. Clips of Pedro complimenting women's manicures with intense focus have gone viral, but not in a good way. Cotton candy sparkle, he coos. Let me see yours. Oh wow, so glowy. At first, people laughed it off as quirky, but then he started asking women to show them their nails, again and again. Strangers, co-stars, reporters. It stopped feeling cute. It started feeling calculated. What once came across as Pedro's nervous charm now feels like a rehearsed bit, something polished and repeated to disarm the audience and dodge scrutiny. Fans aren't just confused, they're uncomfortable. And what's worse, this isn't new. From Sarah Paulson's stiff body language while Pedro rubs her back, to Dakota Johnson's uncomfortable comments about him borrowing her clothes and joking about her feet, these aren't one-offs. They're part of a pattern of pushing boundaries and getting away with it. Because when Pedro Pascal does it, people say, that's just Pedro. But if anyone else did it, it would be a headline. In today's Hollywood, it takes just one awkward moment to end a career. A bad tweet, a viral clip, an offhand remark. But somehow, Pedro Pascal keeps surviving what would sink other stars, again and again. Why? Because Pedro isn't just an actor. He's a brand, a protected investment, and the people who control Hollywood's image machine have spent years crafting the perfect persona for him. Latino, emotionally vulnerable, politically correct, socially conscious, and charming enough to appear harmless, even when he crosses lines. This isn't a theory. It's strategy. Just ask Gina Carano. She was kicked out of The Mandalorian and blacklisted after sharing views that didn't align with Disney's public messaging. Pedro, on the other hand, made several controversial political posts, compared fans to dangerous groups, and even called J.K. Rowling a heinous loser. And he got a promotion. The hypocrisy isn't subtle, it's institutional. Pedro is rewarded because his behavior aligns with the narrative Hollywood wants to push. He checks every box. He's the ideal mascot for a post-Me Too, socially aware, identity-forward era of entertainment. That makes him untouchable, even when things get messy. Remember that Fantastic Four featurette Marvel created, the one meant to highlight Pedro's journey as Reed Richards? It was quietly pulled, canceled, no explanation given. And according to insiders, it was because Bob Iger had had enough. Too many strange clips, too much bad press, too many whispers online about his behavior. But notice, there was no official backlash, no headlines, no Pedro Pascal under fire trending topics, no media takedowns, just silence. Hollywood didn't hold him accountable. It swept him under the rug until the next carefully curated appearance. Because to the studios, Pedro isn't a person anymore. He's a product, and that product only works as long as the mask stays on.
Pedro Pascal did his biggest budget movie ever with Fantastic Four, but as the movie comes out, he's facing accusations regarding his co-star Vanessa Kirby, but a lot of people just don't realize one very key aspect to his lifestyle. Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby are doing marketing together for Fantastic Four, where they play husband and wife, but many people have noticed a lot of clips like this of Vanessa Kirby putting her fingers through Pedro Pascal's hair.
It's not that he's a bad actor, it's just that what he's doing in this movie does not allow him to have any of the charm. He's got no mojo. And it's really very strange. And he doesn't even seem that smart.
I mean, you really need to be with Mr. Fantastic, as he is known, to be in on this movie. And I wasn't.
Pedro Pascal isn't just famous for his roles. He's famous for feeling things. He cries on cue, talks about his anxiety in interviews, shares stories about childhood trauma and pressure. He calls himself soft, sensitive, awkward. It's disarming. It's relatable. It makes fans trust him. And that trust? It's powerful. It's why people laugh off his strange comments. Why awkward moments get framed as quirky. Why women shrug when he flirts inappropriately in public. Because the narrative has already been set. Pedro's just a sweet guy coping with anxiety. Except, what happens when that vulnerability becomes a shield? He's used it to justify overly intimate contact with co-stars. Touch helps me stay grounded, he says. But when that same excuse is repeated after every uncomfortable clip, like stroking Vanessa Kirby's face on camera while she's pregnant, fans start asking questions. And recently, those questions have turned into patterns, like the resurfaced video of him getting flirty with Willem Dafoe's wife, or the red carpet clip with Sarah Paulson where his touch feels anything but casual, or Dakota Johnson revealing that Pedro borrows her clothes and jokes about starting a feet pic subscription, all played off as dark humor. If this behavior came from another actor, the internet would be furious. But Pedro? He hides behind the image. The soft boy, the sensitive man, the safe star who can make inappropriate comments and still get labeled wholesome. That's not vulnerability. That's strategy. He's weaponized emotion to maintain control of the narrative. He gets to act erratic without being seen as threatening. He gets to be overly familiar without raising alarms. And as long as that image holds, nothing changes. But now, even that image is starting to crack. Because when fans start saying, something feels off, what they're really noticing is the performance. For months, fans felt something wasn't right. Pedro Pascal's behavior was shifting, becoming more performative, more personal, and frankly, more uncomfortable. But no one from inside the Fantastic Four bubble dared say a word, until Vanessa Kirby stopped playing along. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, but it was loud enough. Vanessa Kirby, Pedro's co-star, who is engaged and pregnant with another man's child, was repeatedly placed next to Pedro in interviews. Fans started noticing his increasingly intimate behavior, whispering in her ear, stroking her hair, hugging her tightly. He didn't just support her, he lingered. The tipping point came when one clip went viral, Pedro slid his hands around Vanessa during a promo interview. She didn't lean in. She didn't laugh. She stared forward, stiff, unreadable, but not comfortable. And then Vanessa backed off. In the next round of media spots, she started physically distancing herself. Fewer smiles, shorter answers. She stopped playing into the daddy energy fans were expecting. She wasn't cold, but she wasn't giving him a pass either. Online, viewers picked up on it instantly. Vanessa looks done with Pedro. She's pulling back. You can feel it. And that changed everything. Because suddenly, Pedro's weird energy wasn't just a fan theory anymore. It had validation from someone who actually had to work with him. Vanessa didn't need to expose Pedro. She didn't need to tweet or rant or cancel him. She just stopped pretending. And that was louder than anything else she could have done.
These are gorgeous. I think that's my favorite image so far.
That was our very first day
As long as
well.
you don't have to see my face. I'm not letting you go.
You don't have to, baby. Never have to, baby.
Yeah, boy.
I've been busy.
I know, baby.
Answering questions about you.
You can't leave me alone that long. That's a little too long, baby.
We need it.
Come on.
Any other actor behaving this way, whispering to pregnant co-stars, flirting with married women, making increasingly uncomfortable jokes about nails and feet, would be instantly canceled. Headlines would erupt, think pieces would multiply, PR teams would scramble. But Pedro Pascal? He walks away untouched. No outrage campaigns, no major backlash, no accountability, just more casting announcements and glowing magazine covers. So, the question is, why? Because Pedro isn't just a celebrity. He's a product. He fits a perfect mold, the emotionally vulnerable, politically progressive, sexually ambiguous, media-safe man. He says all the right things. He supports the right causes. He posts the right hashtags. And that has made him incredibly useful to Hollywood. Studios don't just cast Pedro for his acting, they cast him for his image, the one that signals virtue, modernity, and harmlessness. He's everywhere because he's safe, not safe for the women around him necessarily, but safe for the industry. And so, when things start to crack, when fans notice the weird behavior or uncomfortable energy, the media kicks into overdrive to protect the brand. They downplay the viral clips. They frame every awkward moment as just Pedro being quirky. They shift the blame onto others, even women like Vanessa Kirby, to maintain the illusion. Because admitting that Pedro Pascal might be more than just awkward, might actually be a problem, that would break the entire system. So instead, the industry keeps shielding him, protecting him, promoting him, because as long as Pedro plays his part and checks every box they need, no one in power will dare to say the truth out loud. Pedro Pascal's charm isn't just a vibe, it's a strategy. From the way he talks about anxiety, to the way he touches co-stars, to the way he navigates political issues, everything about Pedro feels perfectly calibrated. Too perfect. He's vulnerable, but never too messy. He's quirky, but never unlikable. He flirts, but never crosses the line, or at least, not one Hollywood acknowledges. He says he suffers from anxiety. That physical touch helps him stay grounded. That open affection is just his coping mechanism. And for a while, people believed it. But when that same excuse is used to justify whispering into a pregnant woman's ear or stroking the back of a visibly uncomfortable friend, the mask starts to slip. It begins to feel like anxiety is less a struggle and more a shield, a rehearsed narrative that keeps Pedro likable even when his behavior raises red flags. Fans are starting to say it out loud. His public persona isn't a reflection of who he is. It's marketing. Because Pedro doesn't just show vulnerability, he performs it in the exact ways that Hollywood loves. The emotional openness, the left-leaning politics, the flirty awkwardness, the internet speak like cool daddy and anxious soft boy. It's a persona so carefully crafted, it makes you wonder, what's he hiding underneath? Because when someone's image is this well packaged, it usually means there's something they don't want you to see.
They're also infused with a lot of light blue.
Well, as we guess.
something we can't talk about? No.
I've decided we can't.
Oh, all right, that's fine. That's
the
fine.
boss. Italian,
Italian,
Spanish.
Spanish, arbitrary Latino.
Yes. So that's included in.
My forte.
Pedri.
Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby have been going viral lately because of their press tour for Fantastic Four and how they just can't seem to keep their hands off each other.
Remember Gina Carano? In 2021, the former Mandalorian star was fired overnight for sharing political opinions that clashed with Disney's narrative. One post, one controversy, and she was gone. No apology, no grace, no conversation, just erased. Now contrast that with Pedro Pascal. Around the same time, Pedro publicly compared political opponents to historical fascists. He supported every major cause Hollywood wanted to amplify. He even tweeted harsh criticism at public figures. And yet, not only did he keep his job, he got promoted. New shows, bigger roles, magazine covers. Gina Carano's lawsuit against Disney even points it out directly. Pedro shared political views too, but his matched theirs. So he stayed. Hers didn't. So she was sacrificed. This isn't about free speech. It's about control. It's about who gets protected and who gets punished. Because Pedro Pascal isn't just an actor anymore. He's a symbol of Hollywood's selective morality. As long as he checks the right boxes, socially aware, politically correct, emotionally open, he's untouchable. He can hug pregnant co-stars, flirt awkwardly in interviews, make fans uncomfortable, and still be labeled internet's favorite daddy. It's not fairness. It's a double standard. And it's built entirely on branding. Pedro Pascal didn't just survive the system. He became the system. Pedro Pascal isn't just famous. He's everywhere. From The Mandalorian to The Last of Us, Fantastic Four, political red carpets, award shows, viral TikToks. You literally cannot scroll or stream without seeing him. But it's not organic. It's orchestrated. Pedro is the perfect product. Latino. Sexually ambiguous, emotionally vulnerable, politically aligned, just edgy enough to feel cool, but never threatening enough to get canceled. He represents everything Hollywood wants to project right now, not because it's brave, but because it's brand safe. His anxiety becomes a selling point. His awkwardness, relatable. His activism, on script. His controversies, silently buried. While others are blacklisted for less, Pedro's image is too valuable to lose. Because he doesn't just act in stories, he represents one. That Hollywood is still in control. That they can craft the perfect modern man, flawed, emotional, and still squeaky clean. But here's the problem with illusions. Eventually, people start to see through them. And when fans start pointing out how weird it all feels, when co-stars stop smiling through it, when internet's cool daddy becomes the subject of uncomfortable montages, it's no longer a coincidence. It's a pattern. Pedro Pascal might still be the face of 1,000 franchises, but behind the curtain, the cracks are getting louder. And once the illusion breaks, there's no going back.